The U.S. Department of Education estimates that 1 in 10 children experience some form of abuse. For special needs students, that number can go as high as 33%. Female students have a higher percentage of becoming a victim of abuse than male students. What should you do if you're abused at school? You should report it to the person in charge. And the person in charge, in turn, reports it to the police, the Division of Family and Children Services, within 24 hours. You could also report your case to the local Board of Education. In my strong opinion, no child, or person for that matter, should have to experience any form of abuse, especially inside of the school system. Hello, people. Welcome to yet another episode of Assembly Leon Tardy. I'm your host and Silver Lion, the Gym. Today I have Rose Griffin with me to unload her story of how her granddaughter has been abused in our local school system. Hello, Rose. How you doing?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
Okay. Start off by telling us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Rose Griffin. I came here from Syracuse, New York, 19 years ago. I have no family, just my in-laws and my grandchildren. I met a lot of friends and family here. And I have 2 special need grandchildren that I'm taking care of. These are my son kids, well, he's other deceased. I'm taking care of both of them. And, I'm just a grandmom / mom, doing the best she can, kind of take care of them and love them and show them, all the love and support that I can.
Okay. You seem to have a little bit more silver than I do.
Yeah, silver fox. I love it.
So how long have you been taking care of your grandkids?
Ever since they've been born, really.
And
but
how old are they?
They 13, but I had custody for 8 years, physical custody. But ever since they've been born, I had, them in my home and everything. But 8 years I had physical custody from the court.
Okay.
And they 13, to be 14 this year in November.
Okay. November.
Mm-hmm.
That ring a bell over there, cameraman?
November what? 14 for them.
What?
Don't say it.
That's his birthday.
OMG. See, confirmation. Once again, confirmation. Mm-hmm.
See what I'm talking about? Look at him.
Nothing but God.
Man. Anyway, that is that is pretty serious there, huh?
November the 14th. Yeah.
Huh, cameraman? Man, I know he wasn't expecting that. So how's that experience been for you, taking care of your grandkids for 8 years?
It been hard, but I wouldn't change it for nothing, because they, go through a lot, but only thing they're looking for is love, someone to love them, to be there for them, nurture them, and just, love them. And special need kids is hard because, they nonverbal and everything. And so you have to understand what they kind of say or when they want something. If you're just getting them not really caring and just don't pay attention to what they want. But with me, I have to know if they're hurting or when they're hungry or whatever. You just got to tune into them. And it been hard, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah.
Because they is happy. And when they go to sleep at night, I know they're safe and everything. For that that make me feel good when I know they're safe and happy. Because that's all they want. They want to be loved, and they come to you and lay up on you and cuddle on you, They just, and they are so, one thing, autistic kids are so smart and intelligent. It's just a different way that God give them to, communicate. But they are very intelligent and very smart.
Okay. Oh.
I want to put that out there. They are very intelligent, smart.
Was it a hard process learning to communicate with them?
And you never stop learning because, like I said, you don't know. It is, and it's not, it's both, hand in hand. But if you really is into it for the right reason, you're going to get to know them and know what when they hungry or when they hurting or when they want to go to sleep or when they want their tablet or their phone. You just got to know and that by caring and showing them love and everything. But it's not easy, but it's something worth working for. End of the day, as long as they're happy, that's all I want.
Okay. And the incident that occurred in the school system, it happened to just one of your...
No, the same. I gotta start with the first one.
Okay.
The same child. On May the 18th, 2023, around about 1:40 something. They get home around about 1:30, 30 something like that. So around about 1:40 something to 2, I got a phone call.
That was this year?
May the 18th, 2023.
Last year?
Yes.
Okay.
We're dealing with that one.
Okay.
I got a phone call. This is it's just something you wouldn't imagine. On May the 18th, 2023, I got a phone call after they got home. Told me that my granddaughter, Karmyn, was slapped by her teacher, Amy Kraft, and that they'll be contacting me. That was the 18th. The 19th was that Friday. So they only had like 3 or 4 days remaining from school like this year. And so that Friday, I know I wasn't going to hear from them because it just happened the 18th. For that Monday, that Tuesday, I'm waiting to hear a phone call to find out what's going on, what happened with her getting slapped by her teacher. I never got that call. So I'm like, oh, this ain't right. So what I did, I started calling the school. I didn't get no one. Before I talked to my sister, Mamie Hall, she said, sis, why don't you call brother and talk to him? She said, he worked for the NAACP, which I didn't know. She said, call brother for a call, Mr. Clan Hall, / my brother. And he said, let me call Dr. Price. Maybe she don't know, because sometimes she don't know. So he called Dr. Price, and that's the second time I got a call. She called me. Before I would call and get an answer. So she called. I said, she said, yes. I said, what's going on with my granddaughter got slapped by her teacher? She said, it been turned over to DFACS, and they'll be investigated, and they'll contact you. I said to her, what did DFACS have to do with it? Because I don't know. She said, that's the protocol. So, okay. I don't know the protocol, so I'm going with it. I'm respecting that. I never got that phone call from this day.
So who initially called you?
It was somebody from the school. I don't know the name. Like one of their it was one of the
principal, maybe
it wasn't the
assistant principal,
something like that. It wasn't the principal. It was a assistant principal. Someone called me and told me that she had been slapped and they'll be contacting me. So I never got a phone call from that 18. So I'm calling them back and forth. And then when I reached out to Mr. Clarence Hall, he reached out to Dr. Price, and that's when I got the second call. And she told me DFACS had been told to DFACS, and they'll be contacting me. And she told me that was the protocol. I'm trusting and believing what she's saying. Okay, didn't get that call. And I'm like, this ain't right. Then I'm calling different people. I'm calling Mr. Hall, telling him. And so I'm like, this ain't right. For I called the sheriff's department and told that my granddaughter had been slapped by her teacher, and I want to make a report. They connect me to the police department. The police department said they supposed to been took your thing 'cause it's in the county. I said, well, all I know, I called them. They connected me back to the police department. He said, well, I'm going to take it down and give you a case number. That way you can have that. And the officer.
Now this was at the police department.
Right.
Okay.
He said, I'm going to go and take it. He said, but it's supposed to have been done from the sheriff's department. He said, but I'm going to give you something to work with. That way you have the case number to work with. And he did that. He gave me, I told him, he read everything down, that my daughter was slapped by her teacher, and I have not heard from no one. He gave me a case number going forward, and then that way I reached back out to be a Massey, Sheriff Massey, and I told him that the resource officer was not called, should have been called on the duty, and be a Massey let me reach out to her, because this is my first time hearing about this. Mr. Massey called back and said, she said DFACS closed the case because it was a reflex to her biting her. I said, Mr. Massey, what you mean a reflect? DFACS have never contacted me yet. I said, I have not heard from DFACS. How can they close the case?
Wait.
Yeah.
You said, the teacher said that it was the teacher saying she's excusing the slap because your granddaughter bit her.
No, Miss Dr. Price says because my granddaughter bit her, so the teacher said, and it was a reflex to her biting her. That's what Price told me. I said, excuse me? I said,
I mean,
biting her. That, for Dr. Price, gave it okay. Price did. And I told Massey, I went to the Union Recorder. I talked to him. He was going to share my story. And he said, I'm going to go talk to her. I'm going to share your story, da-da-da. And so I'm like, God, thank you for getting my story
Do
right
you
there.
remember his name, whoever that was?
He's the head man.
Is he the owner or he's just he's the operator? He's the operator.
He's the one come out and do all that. I got everything. What his name was.
But anyway, he runs the operation. He runs the when you're recording.
I sat down like I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Told my story.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna share. He gonna go and get hold to Dr. Price. He gonna share my story.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Price was on during that time. She was out on comfort, for she went in the school system from that week, the month they out of school. For she was in comfort somewhere. For he kept calling. So right before school got ready to start, he said, I'm going up to her office. I'm going to sit here until I talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to share your story if she don't. He came back. She said it would reflect from her biting her. I said, sir, what you mean I reflect from her biting her? I said, she's a special need, nonverbal child.
Well, let me ask you this. I'm pretty sure some of the audience would want to know, is she known for biting? I mean, has she ever...
let me finish. In her IEP, one thing about special need kids,
mm-hmm.
they have IEP
mm-hmm.
in school. It put in place for our special need kid. For the teacher and whoever working with them will have to go by that guideline.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you what happened. The IEP states that the teacher have to wear an arm guard, as well as my granddaughter, and my granddaughter have to wear a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
That's in her IEP.
Okay.
And
is that to prevent her from biting?
Prevent her from biting, and also for the teacher getting bit or scratched.
Okay.
Okay,
Gotcha.
They ordered them from the teacher and all and gave them to them. So that's in the IEP. And it also in the IEP that if your child is having a meltdown for what they're supposed to do to get her back into help her get to where she need to be,
okay.
whether she's hungry or whatever, they supposed to know what to do the next step. And if that don't work, to go to another step. Well, okay, what I did after all this running around, I'm like, this don't feel good. But I'm like, I got to get me a lawyer. So I reached out to the Georgia Legal Aid.
Mm-hmm.
They accepted me. I filled the application out and they took it. Miss Noel, I ain't gonna call her name, but from the Georgia Legal Aid, they accepted it.
Mm-hmm.
We came down here and reviewed the video. It was me and my lawyer and Mr. Derek Gilbert, the kid's grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
We went into the school system and reviewed the video. It was the worst thing ever. My granddaughter, Karmyn, was slapping her face for 10 minutes, maybe more, slapping herself and biting herself. This May the 18th now.
Mm-hmm.
She was slapping herself and biting herself so bad. It was so bad, and the teacher walking around doing this and everything, and she just slapping and biting. She was in distress. And when her teacher, Miss Kraft, walked in front of my granddaughter, she raised her hand out and slapped her so hard. And she said, oh, she bit me. It's all on video. And I just cried. The tears just rolled down my eyes.
But your granddaughter didn't bite her.
The video showed my granddaughter slapping and biting herself.
Mm-hmm.
The video, I done seen it twice.
Mm-hmm.
The video showed her, because she in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing we see her slapping her and said, oh, she bit me, when she grabbed and held her.
So even if she did bite her, that's not justification. That's not justification. That's not justification for her to assault your daughter or granddaughter, right?
It's never for a teacher or anybody to slap a nonverbal child or verbal child.
Exactly. I mean,
and Dr. Price, whatever she want to call herself, said it was okay for defect, but that get better. So we viewed the tape, and I saw, and I'm like, this ain't right. She's slapping her own self, and then she turned around and get slapped by her teacher. And she said, and Price said defects were handling. The research officer was not even called. They did not even make a report. And that was it. And I told Dr. Price, I said, no, this is not the end of this. I said, I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
So Dr. Price said that was okay?
She said it was okay. It was going to reflect from her biting her. When Dr. Price should have called the research officer, made a report, and called the sheriff's department.
Yeah, or during my research, I came across some information that basically said that it could also be reported to the local district attorney. I mean, that was an option as well.
Because she was white, I'm gonna put it out there. She done nothing. When you see the video, Anybody got a heart, compassion, empathy will want to say, what in the world can somebody slap a child like that when she already in distress?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I said she was in distress, slapping herself and biting herself, it was so sad. And then she turned around and got slapped by her teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And only thing, Bia Massey said it was okay, more or less. It would reflect her biting. But check this out. Bia Massey never saw the tape.
So how could he say that it was okay?
Because Dr. Price said it was a reflect. Dr. Price never saw the video. If she did, how can she say that?
Well, the day that you and her granddad, right, went to view the video. What school official was there present?
Christy Goffert. She was the superintendent of special education at Oak Hill, at the Board of Education. Christy Goffert, well, she done quit and went somewhere else now. She quit the last week, but like a couple weeks before school. And their lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Their lawyer. And just Christy Goffert and her lawyer, and me and Mr. Derek Gilbert.
So it was just...
And my lawyer.
So it was 5 of y'all? Mm-hmm. Just 5 of you, okay.
Price was not there.
So what did your lawyer tell you?
She thought it was horrific. She was a legal aid lawyer. She couldn't do this other part. What she did, we went in there and changed the IEP. She put that Karmyn to have her own one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
We went over the IEP for Karmyn to have her own one-on-one, especially for her, and did different things in the IEP, and that the teacher had to have training, as well as the one-on-one that were put in there for the IEP from that incident, showing that nobody didn't know what to do, and for them to have her slapping herself that long, she put that in the IEP going forward, that training for the teacher as well as the parapro and one-on-one for her. That way that she can have her one-on-one to take care of her and her only.
Okay.
So that's what she put in place. And then she also gave me the form for me to go forward with special education form against the school.
Okay.
That form.
So how familiar are you with the training of the teachers? Are you familiar with that process, or you're not?
That training went out the door. They ain't nothing. They not doing anything. Cause when we get to the other one, what happened last week, she showed Mrs. came down from Atlanta to do the training.
This is the second incident, or
no, the first one.
Okay.
They had I forget her name. She came from Atlanta to do the training with the teacher and one-on-one for this kind of behavior. To know what to do when a child is in distress or whatever. Okay. And all that. So
let me just clarify now for the audience. When your granddaughter was slapping herself, that's her showing some form of distress, and she needs some attention or some help.
She hungry, hurting, or made a talent. She in distress.
Okay.
And they put to know what to do when she in distress. It's in her IEP.
Okay.
And clearly, her teacher let her slap herself for 10 minutes, and no avail. And I mean, when I said slapping and bite, it was so sad. And then for her teacher to step in front of her and slap and say, "Oh, she bit me." Whether she did, but the video does not show that.
Okay. I just wanted to make that clear that the video didn't show.
No, it's not going to show it. And the thing about it is, we asked for a picture of the bite. We don't got one.
Is that teacher still employed?
She was going to be. Christy Goffert told me the same day I viewed the video. This is what Christy Goffert told me. She said she won't have no contact with your granddaughter in the fall. I said, what do you mean? She said, cause DFAC closed the case, cause we could reflect. I said, Christy, DFAC never contact. Now, I know how DFAC work, cause I could call them when the kids were with the mother. But I know how they work. They got to make contact with the child and me. I said, DFAC have never contacted me yet. I made contact with my granddaughter for how can they close the case? That's what I told her the same day. She said she's going to be coming back, but she won't have no contact with her. They were going to let her come back. But I got a little too heated by me didn't let it go and pushed it. She wrote a letter to the principal and resigned. Okay. But if you...
Yeah, you don't look like the type of person that's letting it go.
I'm never. Like I told them, God built me for this. It is. He built me for that. And what makes it so horrific, and they said that defect. So I'm like, I'm a person, you just can't tell me something. You can't sell me a river because I can't swim. So what I did, somebody gave me Miss Ellison. Her name is Joyce Ellison from DFAC. They gave me her number. because they said defect had the case. So I reached out to Joyce Ellison, and I called her. I said, she said, hello. I said, this is Rose Griffin calling about her granddaughter, Karmyn, got slapped by her teacher. I said, what's going on? Joyce Ellison said, we don't have a case where a child got slapped by her teacher. I said, what do you mean?
So they never reported it?
I'm just saying what she said.
According to her,
yes.
They never reported
I said, what do you mean? I said, she said, if they willing, we'll check it out. I said, so they lied, huh? She didn't say anything. I said, so they lied. Joyce Ellison told me. Now, she's the head person at defect because someone gave me her number and said, call her. And even the police department reached out to her. No avail. They said that they didn't have a case with her, but they'll be willing to look at it, if the school contact them. So defect never contacted me to this day, but Price said that she turned off the defect. But my thing is, Dr. Price, I hold her responsible. I hold her because she's the superintendent.
Well, that's what my research led me to believe, was that you reported to the person in charge, and basically at the end of the day, she is the one in charge.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they tell me when I called her back in last year, first time dealing with something like this, and then when I called her secretary will answer the phone and he said every child here matter. I said, ma'am, that's not true. I said, if it matter, my granddaughter, special need, nonverbal child, got slapped. Dr. Price should have went to the max and did her job diligently, and wherever it fall, let it go. But she did none of that. She showed no compassion, no empathy for Karmyn whatsoever.
Okay.
And to this day, I told them I'm not letting it go. So what I did, I filled out them paper, it's called the hot desk in Atlanta against Dr. Price, the school, and Miss Kraft, and I am going forward with it. And they contacted her. We gotta have a hearing, a due process hearing, and a formal complaint against the school. What happened to Karmyn?
Okay. Now that was the first incident.
That was the first one.
Okay.
So it's all
Now,
on the desk.
The more recent incident occurred this year, right?
May the 20th.
To Karmyn as well.
Karmyn as well.
Okay.
May the 20th, Karmyn came home like she do. They put her in this wheelchair. I don't know why. They have in this wheelchair at school because they said on the bus it was better to bring her on the bus and that secure her on the bus than her stroller. So she came home like she do every day. My son got there and get her, take her out the wheelchair and put in her stroller and stroller in the house.
Well, is the wheelchair, does it hold her down? Is it like...
they can put it in there, keep it from moving or whatever.
Okay.
But she have a stroke because she got cerebral palsy.
Okay.
She can't walk a long distance.
Okay.
But it just for her to keep her from walking long distance, they traveling, going on a field trip, whatever.
Okay.
So May the 20th, she came home around about 1:30, the 5, something like that. She came in the house. I'm taking her uniform off her. Like I do every day. I'm taking her shirt off. As my baby holding her arm up, I kid you not, and I'm taking her shirt off, and all I saw, her eyes reached up at me. I said, what is this? I'm looking at my baby. I'm like, oh, quickly got my camera, took the picture, called her teacher, Miss Shiver, and said, Miss Shiver, what is Karmyn got on her eye? And saw her the picture. She said, only thing she was doing was slapping her face and we put a hood on her head. I said, no, she got an egg on her eye. I told Miss Shiver.
It's a welt. She got a swelling.
A big, right there,
Yeah.
big knot. I call
Okay.
it egg, like a big knot.
Okay.
And I said, no. For I saw her the pictures. I said, no. For immediately, I called her. I took her to the emergency room, and they said it looked like she hit her head on the corner with the way it went, on the desk or something like that. And so they said, did a CT scan. It was okay. Just bruised both eyes. Just both eyes. So then, okay, that Monday. So that Tuesday, I'm booting up. At Tuesday morning, couldn't wait. Monday was the holiday. Okay? Wait a minute. I'm confused now. What the holiday was Monday, wasn't it?
You talking about Labor Day?
Yes.
I mean, what was that last holiday we had?
The 20th, when it happened on the 20th. So
I'm thinking it was, what was it? We just said Labor Day?
Monday was Labor Day.
Okay.
Okay. Well, on the 20th is when it happened. So that Tuesday, I can't wait till the school to open. I got on the phone. I called Miss Mosley. She's the special education coordinator, Miss Mosley. And I told her that Karmyn came home with an egg on her eye. And I want her to tell the principal, I want to come and view the video. I said, Miss Mosley, Karmyn came home like that. I want to view the video from the time she got off the bus until the time she got on the bus. And I said, and I will see it because I have that right.
Okay.
And then I called the principal, and I told him he had never heard of it. He said, let me talk to the Miss Shiver. He said, I'll get back to you. He called me back. He said, Miss Shiver said, only thing she was doing is slapping her face all day, and they had the hood on her. I said, let me tell you, sir, I'm going to view that video, and I want to see it, okay? For that Friday, that next day, I came to the school.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the principal in the office, and he came up to the front. I said, let me tell you, my daughter came home with that on her eye, and I want to know what happened, and I'm going to view that video. And I said, I have that right, and I'm going to see it. And I said, he said, well, we got to block all the kids out, whatever. I said, I don't care what you do what you got to do. I said, I want to see that video. I said, because she came home like that, okay? I said, so somebody going to give me some answer. Before I left him, and I went to Price, to the superintendent office. I went up in there. She told me, come on in. And then that Friday, she told me, come on in. And I went in there, and she told me that she was going to find out what happened. And your assumption of me is, I know your assumption of me is this, but I care for this student. I said, well, Dr. Price, you showed no compassion. You showed no empathy that you cared for what happened to Karmyn on the last one. And I said, now again, the same thing, the inner school, my granddaughter came home with that knot on her eye. I said, and I'm going to tell you, I want to view the bus tape, 'cause on the bus, it's just them two on the bus. And the bus monitor said, when she got on that bus, what she did was untied that hood on her head 'cause it was too hot. All day she had the hood on her head to cover her eye up. She said when she got on the bus, because I called her from the emergency room, I ain't going to call her name. I said, did you see Karmyn eye? She said, all thing I did was took the hat off her head. She said, I didn't see no eye. I said, I'm not accusing, I'm just asking. And so I called the school garage. I spoke to Miss Nelson. I said, Miss Nelson, Karmyn came home with a knot on her eye, and I want to view the tape on the bus. She said, Rose, we got good tape. They're all been upgraded, and you can see the picture real good. That's what Miss Nelson said to me. She said, Mr. Little is over the bus garage. So I left a message for Mr. Little that I want to view the video of Karmyn on the bus. He never returned my call to this day. I called him 3 or 4 times. And I called him. I said, Mr. Little, I called you about my granddaughter that rides your bus. I said, you have not called back yet. I said, that is disrespectful. You can at least call me to find out what I'm calling about. I said, about my child on the bus. I want to view the video. I'm not accusing about on the bus, but I want to see when she took that hat off her head, it's going to show her face, okay? Because they were telling me that the teacher said she don't know nothing about her eye. That's what the principal said. They said the only thing they know, she was slapping her face, and that's it. And I'm like, now, come on. And to myself, I'm like, what is going on? My baby came home like that. For it made me felt like, what are you kind of say? She got it at home? Well, she could have got on the bus. That's what the principal said. I said, sir, this happened at school, but I want to see the bus take her. Going to show when her hat came off her face. But guess what Miss Dr. Price told me? She said the bus, Mr. Little said the tape wasn't working on the bus. All of a sudden, and Ms. Nelson said that all of them been upgraded. They got new camera on the bus. They all upgraded, got show excellent. She said, I said, Dr. Price, I want to see the tape of the bus. I said, I want to see the tape of Karmyn from the time she came to school to the time she got on the bus, and I want to see her get on the bus. She said, well, the bus tape is not working. He said, haven't been working since March, and he didn't know it. Now, could you imagine? Them tapes have to be running on that bus because you never know what may happen. That's the thing to show.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden it ain't working. But I have not talked to him. He have not returned my call. I had called numerous times and left a message. Mr. Little, could you please give me a call? This is Rose Griffin calling about her granddaughter Karmyn. I talked to Ms. Nelson. She told me the tapes were all upgraded on the bus. They got excellent camera. You know. But he have not called me. So let me tell you this. So they let me view the video.
Oh, which one? Which one?
The last one. I don't seen the first one too. But this was just...
I'm talking about the bus or the school?
No, not the bus, in school.
Okay.
So the principal said we used to block the kids out, but after I went into Pride, he said she told me just let you see it. We're gonna do an hour every day, an hour Tuesday, an hour Wednesday, and an hour till we get the.
Did they have timers on there, so you could?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. For what he did when I said I want to see it from the time to get out the bus, they went in to when the bus rolled them in, you know, eastbound whatever. They showed her getting off the scroll her in the school. And then it showed them when they went to The first thing they showed when they went to school, then it was time for them to go for breakfast. They showed them wheeling my granddaughter to breakfast. Her parapro sitting here, her teacher, Miss Shiver, sitting here. My granddaughter and her stroller right there. Nothing to eat. She started slapping herself. That's when she started slapping herself. That was when she first started at breakfast. She started slapping herself. And then she started slapping. She got ready to reach in her lunchbox. The teacher put it back. Her parapro put it back on the back of her wheelchair. And my grandbaby kept slapping herself. They drinking, they stuff, and my grandbaby kept slapping herself. And I said, why didn't you give her something to eat? He said, I don't know. I said, but why they drinking, not giving her nothing? I said, she hungry. She reaching for a lunchbox. And then they got ready to go back out from the breakfast. They wheeled her back down the hall, back into the classroom. And that's when it started. She started slapping herself so many times. Miss Frazier is a parapro. She took over when Miss Kraft left. Because they have a teacher when Miss Kraft left. From the beginning of school in the fall, Miss Frazier took over, the class. And the other teacher coordinated with Miss Frazier.
Mm-hmm.
Miss England coordinated with Miss Frazier. Because Miss England is a real teacher. Miss Frazier was a parapro.
Okay.
So they coordinated together. So Karmyn started slapping herself in the class. Slapping herself. She came from breakfast, just slapping. And then from there, they went outside to the exploratory. They wheeled her outside.
Mm-hmm.
She's still slapping herself. Nothing to eat, nothing to drink. She started slapping herself outside. They were doing bubbles. Slapping herself. I said, what is this? Slapping herself. The teacher wheeled her down a long road. I said, what is she taking her? He said, I don't know. He tried to get the camera, and the camera on everything.
Mm-hmm.
The camera couldn't go no further than that. Then she brought her back. And then I said, well, why she took her down there? Couldn't nobody see her way down the long walkway. I said, what is going on? So she came back with her, okay, right on her. Then she just slapping her. My other granddaughter, Kennedy, she scrapped in her. They playing on the bubble. This exploratory that they started playing. Kennedy scrapped up in her stroller.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't let her out the stroller to play like the other kids. I said, why they got her in her stroller? Why is she scrapped down? Why she ain't playing? Now Kennedy can walk and everything. I said, why she ain't playing like the other kid? I said, why she got her stroller just sitting there? I said, why is that? He said, why didn't let her out of the stroller? He called and asked me, Mosley, why she didn't let her out of the stroller? I said, I don't understand this. All the kids are playing. Kennedy's still in her stroller, strapped down, tied down in her stroller, just sitting there. And they playing, everybody just playing and everything. But Karmyn was out the stroller, out her wheelchair. She'll walk, she'll go back to the stroller. She'll slap herself, she'll go back to the thing. She'll slap herself, go back to the thing. That lasted for about 30 minutes. Then finally came back inside the classroom. That's when she got abused. When I said my baby got abused so bad, Miss Frazier, Miss Shiver, and Lord, I got her name in the thing here. Karmyn slapped her so much. She slapped, she bit herself. Miss Frazier had 2 wooden chairs. She shoved them to her. She kicked her with her foot.
Mm-hmm.
She shoved the chair, and she said, grabbed her by her arm, don't do this. And she came in there with her food inside, just like this, and her plate in her lap. Karmyn rested her food. She said, don't do this. Move. Yeah. I said, sir, she hungry. I said, you see that? He said, yeah, that was a little disturbing. He said, I told Dr. Price that it was disturbing. I said, all of it disturbing. I said, why are they doing that to her? They abuse her so bad. Miss Frazier was the one that sent me pictures every day of my granddaughter. Tell me how happy she is. Oh, how she loved Karmyn. Miss Frazier is a black woman. She abused my granddaughter. She kicked her. She took the chair. She shoved into her face. And this went on from the time they came back from exploratory until the time they get ready to eat lunch. It was so horrific. She shoved the chair. 2 chairs. Shoved the chair. Karmyn get up on the floor. She'll walk to her stroller. She'll walk back. She'll walk to the desk. She reach at something. They'll take it from her. They'll shove the chair at her. Miss Frazier was just...
So she basically was giving you the impression that she was concerned, but at the end of the day, she was basically deceiving you.
She abused her so badly. She was abused from the time she got to school that day. They had to cut it off. It was so horrific. They had to cut the tape off. It was so much that she endured that day. They didn't feed her. They didn't give her
The
nothing.
whole day.
Even the principal said they didn't do anything. They abused her so bad.
Mm. This is what's going on inside our school system here. People locally. This actually happened.
This one
locally.
little girl, they abused her so bad. Miss Frazier was the one that would send me pictures of her, and she was there with Miss Kraft, and she took over her spot. Miss Frazier abused her so bad, and then my grandkids don't eat free lunch. They take their lunch to school. I have everything in their lunch thing, their own juice, their milk, and everything. When time to eat lunch, they saw the free lunch in front of Karmyn.
Mm-hmm.
Karmyn looking around, I swear to you. She looking around for food. I said, why didn't feed her?
Were they doing this every day, or
They had to be. Because
So,
she come home with her food every day. And I call her teacher. And I asked Miss Shiver, why Karmyn come home with her food every day? She said she's not eating it. I said, Miss Shiver, she can't open nothing. You had to open it for her. You had to feed her.
Mhm.
I said, Miss Shiver, how's she going to, she can't open it. She can't feed it. You had to feed her. Now, finger food, she can put like chicken nugget fries in her mouth, stuff like that.
Mhm.
That day, they didn't feed her. I said, why?
it wasn't just that day?
It
Ms.
had
Griffin.
been-
It had been. It probably was every day. I mean,
Every day. When I said they abused her so bad, and her one-on-one, supposed to be one-on-one for her. They had her for her only.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't do nothing. She was doing everything, walking around back and forth. I said, what's going on? I said, one-on-one is for her. The one-on-one sat there, ate her food. I kid you not. She sat there, ate her food. Karmyn reaching that day, they didn't give her nothing that whole day.
Mm-hmm.
They abused her so bad. And I want everybody to see that video. If you see that video, anybody got any child with special needs unknown would never let their kids go to school. She cannot go back to Oak Hill. I don't know why ever let her go back to her school. I kid you not. I'm asking for help. I'm asking for justice for Karmyn. She was abused. They had to cut the tape off. I couldn't take it no more. I broke down. I broke down last year, but I would have never thought that this year. But I'm going to tell you, God did it. He had to pull the wool because I'm thinking that she had a great year. I kid you not, I did. She sent me pictures. I can show it to you my phone when after it's over with. She sent me a picture of her every day, and I'm so happy. And I'm like, oh, God, thank you. I'm putting no, I love her being happy. I love you, Karmyn. And she just sent me all the pictures. I'm just praising her and thanking her. You know, it was not. Miss Frazier abused her. Miss Shiver, the main teacher, no one did nothing. They didn't give her nothing to eat. She had nothing to play. Even the principal apologized to me, told me he was sorry. But then they thought I was
Did
crazy.
you believe him? Did he
No.
appear to be genuine?
No, because Friday, Thursday, that happened Wednesday. Thursday I had to regroup. I broke down too bad. I couldn't take it no more. So Friday I kept calling. I didn't get an answer from him or Price. Now with all this going on, they should have reached out to me and said, you okay? You know what I mean? We finna pick back up where we left off at. We had to cut the tape off, it was too horrific. And he cut the tape off and went over to the Board of Education to talk to Price. If that's the case, why haven't they did anything? I have not heard from neither one of them.
What about the teacher that was sending you pictures of her every day? Have you heard anything back from her since that day?
I called her. She didn't answer. She hang the phone up and click it. I know, but see, she did that when I first found that Karmyn I, because I would call her one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
So when Karmyn I came home, even for the tape, I called her. She never answered. So now I know. That's what he said to me. He said, the principal, he said, we viewed the video. We didn't see nothing. That's the word he said to me. When I came into the school and told him, I met him for the first time and told him about my daughter I said, I'm going to see that tape card. I had that right. I said, do your job and do it diligently. I said, do the right thing. My baby came home with an eye that way, and I want to know what happened. I said, I'm going to see that tape from the beginning to the end. And I said, this is my right. So he told me he had viewed it, and he asked the teacher in them one-on-one, but they said they didn't know. The only thing she did was slap on her face. They didn't see her eye. Mm-hmm. I said, sir, are you for real? I said, what are you kind of say then? What happened to her eye then? He said, I don't know. I said, but what are you saying? If she came home from school, if you make me feel some kind of way, well, the bus, I said, that's when I said I want to sit on the bus. I said, but it happened at school. But see, you would never imagine that what I saw was what I saw. And then he apologized. I'm sorry. But he told me he saw the tape. He told me him and Miss Mosley watched the video.
So he lied
and
to
he
you.
didn't see nothing. When I kid you not, that he said to me, he stood up in the office and told me that. I said, let me tell you, I'm going to see it. And that's my right. And I'm going to see that video. He told me he had seen it. And the only thing he saw that didn't see that. He said the teacher said the only thing that was she was slapping her. I said, wait a minute now. You said you saw the video. If you saw the video, when you had saw her slapping her face, when you saw that hood on her head,
Mm-hmm.
I said, so you just said that the teacher said she was slapping. But that means you didn't see the video.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
He apologized to me. It was him and the 8th grade vice principal, black guy. They all, that other man was crying too. He's the 8th grade assistant principal. And he was saying, you don't treat a dog like that. I said, why? Why they did it like that? I said, God, why? When I say that they abused her, I mean mentally and physically she got abused. And her teacher, Miss Shiver, didn't do anything. In her one-on-one, she's just been there for like 3 months. They hired her for her. But I'm thinking something happened. She had another one-on-one. She was a pretty black girl, thick a black girl too. But she quit. I'm wondering why she quit. I think she probably couldn't take what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Last year...
You don't remember her name, though?
I'm going to get it, though. Last year, when I put it on Roadblock, I put justice for my granddaughter, Karmyn. This white girl reached out to me. She was a one-on-one. She was a parapro in common class with Miss Kraft. She said she quit. And she said she went to Dr. Price 3 times on Miss Kraft. And she said, you need me to go to court, I go. She said the way she abused them kids. And she went to Price. And Price didn't. She said, so she started in May. She left in October. She told me that.
Mm-hmm.
She said, if you need me, I will go to court for you. And there was a white girl. She was in her class last year when she went to Kraft. But this tape here is the ultimate that every parent got to see this tape.
Every parent in the schools need to be aware, especially with the ones with special needs.
Please. I'm
If
telling
this can
you,
happen to her granddaughter,
Yes.
it can happen to anybody's child.
I'm telling you. I mean, and half of the kids in the class, I done seen their mother. I don't know their name and everything. And our kids are being abused. When I say my granddaughter didn't get nothing to eat or drink that whole day, and they are Miss Frazier literally abused her with the wooden chair. Got one chair, and then she kicked her with her feet. He said he asked her, "You kicked her?"
You know, I'm inclined to believe that if you were to view the extent of all the video, you probably would be flabbergasted.
They had to shut the school down. I'm thinking that parents need to be aware and do like I do. Ask for the video of your child. You have that right. You have the right to see the video. And see what I'm kind of understand. Miss Fraser and them know a video in this classroom. But when you see it, you're going to ask why. And the video is there.
I think that they probably, in my opinion,
Because Dr. Price
they're
gave them
protected.
the okay.
They're protected.
Last year, yes.
Exactly. They're protected.
They're comfortable. They're protected. Because when Dr. Price did her job last year, when Amy Kraft slapped a nonverbal special needs child, not just defect, didn't report it to the research office there for a reason. It had it been a normal child jumped on a teacher or any child, they would have called the research office to make a report in the police department. They wouldn't have called defects. So why did defect get called that? Why wouldn't the sheriff department? Why didn't Mr. Hollison make a report of this? He didn't know anything about it. And then if you say you got bit by her, then me and my lawyer asked for the picture of it. I got it there. We don't have it. We don't have a picture. No, you don't. Of course you don't. You know, 'cause if you saying she bit you, and if she did, like I say, it's in her IEP. That she is a biter, she a nonverbal child, and she a biter and she's a slapper. It's in her. And see, if you're not going by the IEP, what is it good for? What is it good for? We sending our kids to school, Mr. Sanford, and I'm telling you, you have to see that tape. That tape, if anybody got any empathy, any heart, you see that tape, you will see what I've been going through, and you would like demand, if you got a special needs child in Miss Kraft, Miss England class, you would demand to see your child tape, because I'm telling you, they being abused. And please help me fight for her. And I'm going to be going to the board of education in the school, and I'm going to be picking it because I'm going to get justice for my baby.
Okay.
I want you to see the tape.
Okay.
I want you to see the tape.
All right. You got anything else you want to say?
I'm just thanking you. I had been to the Union Recorder. I called Channel 13. Mr. Clarence reached out to Channel 13 News, Jessica, last year to tell my story. Well, Dr. Price said would reflect for her binder. Didn't get nowhere. Union Recorder didn't get nowhere. Thank you. And I want to thank my brother, Mr. Clarence Hall, for reaching out to you and for me.
Okay.
I thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. That's what I created the platform for.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Appreciate it.
All right.